Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Taufik Hidayat and I am one of Miss Alvina's student in Advanced Reading A2. Today or now I would like to make a video about retelling the Journal of Linguistics. I mean retelling this summarize. So I would like to explain it in a content or in a video. Alright, let's jump to the topic. Alright, first of all, my topic is student perception of block use in an graduate linguistic course. So there are 5 points that I will explain in my video. That's our literature review and method and result, discussion and the conclusion. So let's jump to the topics. Alright, I think as we know as well, the effectiveness of block in teaching learning process was examined from different perspective. So we have different perspective about it, and we have different we have our own version about the effectiveness of blocks on the teaching and learning process. So the author found that feedback played an important role on increased engagement and time spent on task. That means this is very interesting things that we have to look at the block. I think to enter the teaching and learning process. So with a block we have the important role on increased engagement and time spent on task. That's what the literature review means. So, the idea of self-regulation and determination in learning should be the ultimate goal of education, so that learner can make their own decision and become autonomous in their learning. So, it means the students more confident to make their own decision if they are anonymous. So this is the interesting thing that blocks have. So we jump to the method there are 2 points here. There is sample or participant and data collection procedures. So I will explain the sample or participants first. As I mentioned in my summary, there are very long explanation. So I will explain in short. I think the explanation in brief is as mentioned before, linguistic course is a required course which is taught over 2 semesters. So that's why the aim of the study was investigate the perceptions of the learners about the usage of the blocks, more specifically, and whether blocks would help them understand content better and as well as express themselves better than they do in the class session. So it means the aim of this method should relate with the linguistic course, and this is very relatable. So the blocks and linguistic course could or was relatable, so it could use. So we as the learners of linguistic course should start to look at the blocks used. So we have to upgrade our knowledge about blocks to understand the to catch the linguistic course itself. That's in my opinion. So I will jump to the data collection procedure. That is the second method in this journal. Alright, I will explain the second method in this journal, that is data collection procedure. I will read first to make you or to make the audience more relate with my explanation. So the first researchers created a blog for use as a discussion forum for students. Then during the semester, they asked the student to respond to several blogs questions about the linguistic lecturer. The lecturer involved topics such as language acquisition, bilingualism, and sociolinguistics. The course was conducted over 10 weeks, blah 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 blah, until students were given a choice on whether to be anonymous or identified when blogging. So, as mentioned in the first sentence on the reading passage, that is, the researchers created a blog for use as a discussion forum for students. It's kind of hard to explain, but the simple explanation is researchers created a blog for use as discussion for students, and the lecturer land the question for the student, so the student could discuss it in that blog. So that's, I think, the simple explanation of that. Alright, I will jump to the result point. I think that is very clear in the my summary, so I will explain it in short, maybe. I think so. The conclusion of the result point is the results show that almost all the participants had a positive perception about the use of blog and its contribution toward their own learning. So there is no negative negative perception of the blog itself. So it's very useful for student and for the teacher or the lecturer itself. So we jump to the discussion session, or discussion point, that is, as mentioned, the present study aimed to investigate the learning effect of using blog in a linguistic course. So it means the aim or the focus point of the study is to investigate or make investigation about learning effects of blogs. As we know from the result, this blog doesn't have a negative effect. So the study aims to investigate the learning effects is very very useful and was successful, I think. And as mentioned in the summary, the finding of this study indicate that using blogs as part of a course helped students learn the subject matter more efficiently and played an important role in encouraging students to learn from one another as well as from other resources. So, in conclusion, it is helped the student learn the subject matter more efficient. So there's no time to waste. So the last but not least is the conclusion. So the conclusion of my whole explanation is the finding of the study reveal or so we jump to the conclusion that is the last point in my explanation in this video, and in summarize, the findings of the study reveal that using a course blog can have a positive effect on the learning outcomes and suggests that instructors incorporate blocks into their classes to give opportunities for the student to learn the subject matter. So the focus point is subject matter. The whole explanation, my whole explanation is the focus point is subject matter. So that's all for me, and thank you very much for pay attention to me, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.